So if our design is to destroy the planet and destroy the food chain, then we're doing great, if that's our plan. But if that's not our plan, then what is our plan? So we look to nature as inspiration because of its millions of years of R&D. I wrote a book called Cradle to Cradle. I worked with a scientist, a German chemist, and we looked at the world through a different set of lenses, where the book itself is plastic. It's the world's first plastic trade book. The idea being that why would we use something as magnificent as a tree to do something as prosaic as a flat white sheet of paper, when we're awash in plastic and polymer. And it explains this in the first chapter. This book is not a tree. But the book also describes how, at this point in our history, being less bad is not being good. It's being bad, but less so. And so the idea that we would simply have efficiency is not adequate to the task. We've been asked by the Department of Defense to imagine what it would be like to solar power the country and all the military bases. And when we look at the implications of this, what we realize is that this isn't about simply being efficient with power, it's about being effective with its delivery. And we look at the cherry tree for inspiration, because we don't look at a cherry tree in the spring and say, oh my goodness, how many blossoms does it take? It's not very efficient, but it's highly effective. And we celebrate it. We celebrate effectiveness, not just efficiency. Because when you think about the cherry tree, all these blossoms return to the soil, which is regenerating, and then allows the trees to regenerate. And this continuous cycle of regeneration is the cycle of life that we can enjoy on a personal level. But if we think about efficiency and beauty, what we discover is less is more until you have nothing. But also, if you think about things like Mozart, we don't listen to Mozart and think, oh my goodness, how many notes does it take? And he could have hit the piano with a 2x4, got them all at once. He's very efficient, but we love it. So the idea of actually developing an effective agenda is one that we think is really critical and will be really important to the design of the Science Center. Because what we look at is a flight path and start to imagine what optimized sustainability will look like. What would it mean to be 100% renewable power, for example? 100% good. Then we do the things that are efficient because they have amazing value. Efficiency is very effective and very valuable in the short term. And so clearly we want to be as efficient as possible to reduce our demand on the systems. But at the same time, we want to be effective and develop R&D and posit alternatives to allow us to achieve our goal, because efficiency alone will be insufficient to achieve the goal. If you reduce your use of fossil fuels and so on to the maximum, then you're still insufficient in terms of being 100% renewable, for example. So we'll need to develop both efficiency and effectiveness agendas, and that represents leadership. And I think this will be a great message for the children. Because in this protocol, growth is good. See, the problem right now for most environmentalists, for example, is growth is bad. We think of asphalt as two words assigning blame. And so if we look at the idea that growth could be good, we realize that we need a new protocol.